first and foremost, last time we talked or saw you, for me personally, was right before the Midwest League All-Star Game in 2017. I had a feeling that you would not be making it back to King County after that, because you literally dominated the first half of that season that year, and I knew there was no way in hell you'd make it back down in Northwestern Medicine Field, and needless to say, I was right as you got the bump to Visalia. Then a lot has happened since, including this crazy pandemic. How have you been doing, first and foremost?
Um, as we stand today, great. Body's feeling great. Super excited for this upcoming spring training season.
Mm-hmm.
Been getting right. I spent last year injured on the shelf.
Right.
Yet again, and so one of the things going into this off season, I was like, you know what? The only thing I'm doing is setting myself up to stay healthy, and
Sure.
then we'll see what happens after that. But the only thing I'm worried about is staying healthy. And if there's one thing I can say right now is I'm healthy.
You're healthy.
Oh,
Gotcha.
healthy and strong. Yeah.
That's good. That's good to
Really good.
hear. It was back in early April. You started to have shoulder issues, and then that's when everything started to unfold for you as far as the injury goes, right?
So you saw him this April?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't even shoulder. It was
Elbow.
elbow,
That's what it was.
elbow
Yeah.
stuff on me. And
Hmm.
so yeah, it was. We got towards the end of camp there right before the shutdown, and I started feeling a little discomfort and um, on the brink of potentially breaking with the team. And I was like, you know what, like
Wow.
let's let's take care of business, and then let's make this team, and then we'll get it worked on whatever I needed. But yeah, it was just kind of tried to throw through it, and it just didn't play out for me. So I ended up rehabbing all summer, and I mean all the way into the off season really, and then got shut down beginning of November, and then been getting right ever since.
For sure. Now, I have to go back to April of 2019 because everybody on that 2017 team from the Cougars, I've kept tabs on because you guys literally were such a huge part of my life. When April 2019 comes around and you get that call for the show, I mean, everybody, it's like watching the movie Rudy, okay? And I'm Rudy's friend in there. I'm jumping up and down for you because I mean that's a
Appreciate it.
lifelong dream. You've worked so hard for that. When that call comes or whatever it was that you got that message passed along to you, what's going through your head? How'd that all play out for you?
Um, for me personally, the obviously it was like, hey, like keep this under wraps, but
Sure.
call your family, let them know. And so I got a long story about calling my parents and letting them know, and then got off the phone, and I just cried in the lobby for a little bit. And then I called my brother and sister as I'm going up to my hotel room to actually, I hadn't even unpacked yet, but just grab my stuff and
Sure.
try to make sure I can make a flight. But um, one of the feelings that I actually haven't talked about or shared with anybody was exactly pretty much what you were talking about. It's like I thought about, like I had a lot of time to think about who helped me get there. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of people that I don't even talk to anymore,
Mm.
but in some shape or fashion they have helped me move into my baseball career, and or progress my baseball career, or help me get to where I am today. Like
Right.
some of those guys on the Kane County team from 2017, those are my best friends.
Yeah.
It's not even baseball. Those are my
Right.
best friends. And so it kind of just goes to attest to that. Rich Sever, Rich was an instrumental part into my growth as a pitcher, even though we were only together for a half of a season.
Sure.
Different people, and I failed to, I guess, put that out there enough. But man, like that's what's going through your head. It's like, yeah, it's exciting. Obviously, it's exciting going and realizing, like,
Sure.
yeah, this lifelong dream, this dream has been realized.
Hmm.
It's not the end goal, but the dream has been realized. But you definitely do yourself a disservice, and you understand that I got to look back.
Right.
Got to give every bump along the way its due, whether it's good or bad. And
Hmm.
so I spent a lot of time thinking about that.
Yeah. No, and I know you mentioned even down in King County, when you did interviews with the local papers around there, you did mention that family was utmost number one priority in your life. And I did come across an interview where you talked about the first thing that you thought about was the fact that, hey, if my parents didn't take me to practice, they didn't have to do that. They didn't have to do it. They didn't have to, push me, or they didn't have to support me with this, but they did it because they wanted to. You stressed that was a huge part of everything coming to fruition. Many people go, "Oh, I worked so hard for this," and they I don't think many people sit down and look at it as the way you've done. How special has your family been? Because I see on social media for you, you have a very, very close bond with everyone in your family. Everything you do evolves around them as a whole. So as a family, for the family as a whole, what was that experience like together and seeing it play out at Chase Field? Boom, dream come true.
Yeah, I mean, it's every time I think about it, it's nuts
Yeah.
because it's almost like that. My dad left his home country with nothing in his pocket and showed up on Ellis Island, and it's like, and
Right.
not to really, it's apples and oranges, of
Sure.
course, but I'm the first baseball player in my family. My dad didn't play ball, not to the extent that I did, not like in organized sports.
Sure.
So when I started playing baseball and I showed an affinity for it and I loved it, and I mean, shoot, when my dad realized, or when they taught me to hit left-handed, even though I'm not naturally left-handed, I was taught to hit left-handed because I never swung a baseball bat. So they're like, "Hey, you're fast. We're going to make you swing left-handed." My dad taught himself how to hit left-handed so he could show me, and so we could hit in the garage into the net. My dad used to sit on the bucket and play catch with me until I got old enough and started throwing too hard to where he was like, I just don't trust it. I actually got to play catch with my dad and my brother during the Christmas holiday for the first time in years. And like, it was the coolest thing. It was so, it was a good
It takes
feeling.
you back to like those days, and then it's like I feel like those moments are the ones that hit you, and like you just start to lose it emotionally because you're like, wow, like this, I forgot how great this actually felt.
Right. I mean, and family to me is such a important thing that I mean, there are a lot of people I consider family.
Sure.
Family, not for me, it's not just blood. Like we don't have to have the same blood to be considered family. But I mean, I wouldn't have started playing baseball if it wasn't for a youth basketball teammate's dad just saying, "Hey, our sons are friends.
Wow.
And your son's a good athlete. Does he want to play baseball?" Ask my dad. My dad looked at me and said, "Hey, John, you want to play a game?" I said, "Sure." So he took me to the tryout.
Wow.
We bought a glove on the way, And so, yeah, I mean, I actually saw him in an airport. I want to say the off season before I got called up.
No kidding. That's wild.
Saw him as a family. We saw him in the airport, and I told him, I was like, man, like, who would have thought?
Right.
When me and your son, when we were 6 years old, who would have thought? And I just told him, I was like, thank you. Not because I was a good baseball player and you were trying to recruit me to go play on your kid's high school team or your kid's travel team. Like, you just invited me to come hang out, like you invited me to come play a game with your son. And it turned into a love of mine, and I get to do everything that I get to do and I want to accomplish now.
Sure.
Is possible it's for sure possible through baseball. So, yeah, I mean, it's just little things like that just kind of hit differently, know? Yeah, I mean, it's just cool to think about. You start kind of like really running down that road once you start talking about it.
And I think, too, a lot of it, too, is even during the pandemic, you've seen a lot of athletes hit up Players Tribune, like really using this time to think about how blessed every one of them have really been because everything stopped. Now they have this time to really think about everything that they've gone through and how they've gotten to where they've gotten. And you started to see a lot of really deep, articles of just about how blessed they really are. And I don't think, it's not like they never, didn't think about it, but now you have that time to really reflect and and kind of show your thanks and appreciation to those who kind of push you to where you are. But I know you did. You went to Rice for baseball, and I have to ask you, I feel like Rice has just been like a cesspool as of late for really pushing out some really good baseball. Talk a little bit about your experience over at Rice. I know you had a really good friend from H-Town, Johnny Williamson. I see you laughing over there. Who went on, did baseball, did his hip-hop thing. That's what he's working on now. But what is it about that Rice community and baseball community that you think is really flourished over the years, producing quality talent year after year now?
Yeah. So, I mean, when I got to Rice, it's embedded in the tradition, right?
Sure.
Like the Rice, the Old English R, and those four little letters across your chest. I mean, it really makes you feel a certain way. And campus is small. There's really not. I mean, yeah, you're in the middle of Houston, but you don't really leave campus once you're on campus until you don't really leave campus that much. So the community it feels tight knit. It feels interconnected. Like, I mean, I tell everybody, within 3 months, you know every new face. You've seen every new face on campus. Every year, every year, you've seen everybody within 3 months, and so you form relationships, and then let alone with your teammates. You all are there. I mean, for the most part, everybody's there for the same reason.
Right.
We're here to play ball, and we're here for a good education. So it's a bunch of smart guys and a bunch of smart guys who want to work and play ball, you know, and so, yeah, John Williamson is great. That's my boy Swill. When you started to say John, I was like, who's John? Because I know him.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, right.
I know him as Jay Willie. I know him as Wilson.
Yeah.
I know him by a multitude, a plethora of nicknames, you know, and
bunch.
Oh my gosh, you have no idea. There's so many, but he was one of those guys where he was one of those guys, like, especially in high school, was like extremely talented. Sweet swing from the left side, had dumb pop, could run like the dang wind, good arm from the left side. And he did it all, you know? And then at Rice and beyond, and even to this day, like, he wasn't just a baseball player, you know? Swill, he's in law school now. You know, like, he's
awesome.
He's in law school, he's rapping, and he was a professional baseball player.
I mean, that's remarkable.
You know, and I mean, not to say that I wouldn't have seen it coming, but like, it wasn't like it was this, ooh, look at me, I can go do this, I'm gonna go do that. It was just like, nah, it's just what I'm doing.
That's just what he's doing. Yeah.
It's what I love. This is what I want to do, and these are my passions. And so you kind of got to see guys do stuff like that. And I've never talked to Swill about it. McCall Swill. I've never talked to him about it. But I noticed, you know what I'm saying? And guys noticed, and he's a couple years older than me. So, like, right. I was a younger guy noticing that. Like, guys like Blake Fox. Blake Fox is one of my best friends, and left-handed pitcher. He ended up getting drafted same year as me to the Brewers, and one of the fiercest competitors I know, one of the best dudes I know. And I mean, I was blessed with 3 years at Rice with him, you know, and it's like, I just got to see him work and then work and have success and be a great person.
That's the best part about it too. Is like, you can see that.
No, you have to see good ball players, good examples, and they got to be good people.
Sure.
It's so easy to see, like, dudes balling out and having success, and then they're being jerks and they're clowns in the streets, you know, like.
Well, that's the thing that frustrates me too. It's like, and that was one thing I was always worried about, just about any of the younger guys I've ever come across, is like, oh no, like, don't change. Like, when you get there, it's like, hey, like, will you still say hi? Like, will you still, like, because I feel like if you forget who was there at the beginning when you get there, I feel like, I don't know, there are people who do, there's a lot of people out there do it who just, like, feel like they've crossed a level of, now they're in a different place, like they can't associate with you because of, and I think it's important to remember where you came from, because as soon as you let that go, I think you've already lost. You've lost from here on out. But when the decision came for Rice, was it a big part of the decision to remain closer to home? I mean, was that huge for you? Or were you like, I don't know, I think closer to home is better? Did you have second thoughts about possibly going elsewhere?
So my college recruitment experience was very different.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I didn't know. It's not. I never thought about playing collegiate sports, let alone professional
Oh
sports,
wow.
until I
Okay.
was 17. Um, more or less, right before I turned 17. That's really when I really first time actually considered playing college sports or playing professional. No, didn't even think about professional sports. I never thought that was like a. I mean, serious. I'm so serious. But my best friend in high school, his name's Caleb Benenot. Offensive line. He was my offensive lineman in high school as a quarterback, and he had 40 plus offers D1.
Wow.
I mean, we'd be hanging out on Friday night, or really any night for the
Mm-hmm.
for that night playing video games, and Coach Stoops would call, Mac Brown would call, Coach
That's
Saban would
crazy.
call, Coach Moore over at UCLA at the time would call, and like we'd just be chilling, and all these coaches were calling him, and he'd be like, "Dude, like like if you wanted to go play football, you go play football. Like, come on." And so I started thinking about it, and I was like, "All right, cool." So right off rip, my dad was like, "Well, let's email the Ivy League schools because education is super important in our family and to
Right.
me. And my grades were good, and I'm a smart guy. I'm not gonna sit here and try to not say I'm not gonna downplay it. Like, I'm a smart guy. So like we emailed Yale, Harvard,
Wow.
Princeton, Stanford, Rice for football camps and stuff and football opportunities. And so we did a couple camps, and I got offered by Yale. I was going to go to Yale to play quarterback. And
Wow.
then in the same summer, once I was done with the football circuit,
Mm-hmm.
or quote unquote football circuit, I went and threw in my arm was in shape because I've been throwing so many footballs. I went and pitched in a tournament where there would be a bunch of schools and a bunch of teams, and
Mm-hmm.
I called Rice and my pitching coach at Rice, and I called him. I said, "Hey, I'm gonna be pitching on this day on this field at this time with this team, and if you have time, love you to come check me out." And no joke, he said, "I'm here seeing other people, but if I have time, I'll stop by."
Oh wow.
And by the grace of God, he stopped by. I don't know how much he saw, but I called my own game. I went 6 innings. I had maybe 10 strikeouts, and I was like topped at like 89 or something like that.
Oh
So
wow.
they got interested on me, and within a couple weeks, they wanted to offer me, and so it was either Yale and Rice. Like those are the only two schools that at the time wanted me or knew about me. I don't know, one or the other. It doesn't really matter now, but
Mm.
it was either football, and they would let me play baseball at Yale, but football or baseball. And I ended up getting injured playing football my senior year, so that also helped with the decision. But I remember thinking, my dad and I were doing the football camps for like a month. We
Mm.
were up in the Northeast for a month without my mom. And I remember missing my mom terribly. So when
Mm.
I got injured, I remembered like, hey, I missed my mom terribly. Rice is 30 minutes down the road.
Yeah.
And I probably I won't have as many surgeries and injuries playing baseball as I would football.
Mm.
It was a really easy decision to make. So, yeah, I mean, being close to home, I say all that, say being close to home was huge, and actually was really nice to be 30 minutes down the road.
Yeah. You see, I didn't know anything about the football part. I mean, there's a lot. You hear those stories where there's a lot of these guys. I mean, Russell Wilson, he'll still screw around and come back and play with. I think he's now got this thing with the Yankees. I mean, there's
Yeah.
always been two. I don't know what it is about the baseball and football thing. There's so many of those stories where it's just they reach that point, they don't know what to decide. But I did not know that, which is really really interesting. And as far as the smarts go, I always knew you had that. I remember when you were down in Kane County after the game. I don't know, your girlfriend at the time, I asked after, I said, hey, could you do a full signature on this? And you said, you want my middle name? I said, yeah. And your girlfriend at the time goes like this. She says, do you even know how to spell that? And she was screwed with you because I don't think he knows how to spell Christopher.
Yeah.
But no, man, yeah, that's awesome, that the whole football story there. Now, when you're going to Rice and stuff like that, you're progressing through the years there. At what point did you come to the realization that, hey, you know what? I'm getting these looks. Scouts are coming out. Maybe professional. Maybe this is really a possibility right now. Were you just mainly focused on the education there, and if that happened, it happened. But it happened. Like, at what point did you start to lock into the fact that, oh, this is a thing? Like, I may have this professional thing knocking on my door.
So funny enough, I personally, I feel like I recruited Rice to go there. Like, I asked them and was like, hey, I had to convince them that they needed me, they wanted me, and it worked, and I got there. And in my second bullpen there, my first fall, it was a great bullpen. I threw 4 pitches all in the zone with good velocities, great breaks. I mean, it was dope. And I was like, oh, snap. And head coach, Coach Graham was watching. Our pitching coach obviously was there watching. And I remember after that bullpen, my pitching coach came up to me like the next day or something, just on the side. And he was kind of like, he goes, hey, man, you're old. He goes, you're old. I said, what you mean? He's like, you got a summer birthday. I said, yeah. I've always been old for my class. And he goes, you can get drafted after 2 years. If that's the case. He goes, you can get drafted after your second year. You don't have to be here for 3. I said, what? I wasn't thinking the only thought I had was, you really think I'm going to get drafted out of here? And so props, and I thank him for that. Cause literally it was that moment.
Wow.
That moment was the first moment that I was like, cause I had gotten some interest, some questionnaires and some home visits from professional scouts before I got to Rice, like my senior year in high school.
Sure.
Nothing really seemed like, I mean, hey, like maybe if you want to do this, but you're going to Rice. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to Rice. Yeah. Y'all can't touch me. I'm going to Rice. Don't waste a pick on me. And my pitching coach was like, hey, you can get drafted after your second year. I was like, wait, you think I'm gonna get drafted at all? And he looked at me and was like, dude, he goes, if you don't get drafted, he goes, one of us really effed this up. He's like, because what I just saw right there, like, he goes, nah, man, you're gonna be a beast. And I was like, all right. So I got this new mentality in my mind, because I didn't see it. I thought being one of the best pitchers on your high school team, when you got to Rice, it was all the best pitchers from everybody's high school team. So like everybody was going to be as good as me or better. And then the older guys were going to be better because they had more years of experience. And I had to work to match up and catch up to them. And then, but my pitching coach really saw something in me early on. And by him saying it to me, not just keeping it to himself and then just pushing me, but he actually verbalized it. A flip switch. That day I was a different dude going forward. I was, of course, still serious about my schoolwork. Sure. I had to understand time management, and but once I got the time management down, my grades were still solid and I cared about them, but there was really only one mission. I had another couple teammates here and there, just throw the same kind of affirmations, dog, if you better get in this gym. Because if you don't hit 98, you don't hit 100 miles an hour before you get out of here, you ain't work hard enough. Just little things like that.
It's good to have that circle when you have those people with that mentality
it was just
do or die type of thing.
It was just it was so much belief in not necessarily who I was at that moment, but who they thought I could be. That all I knew was go, right. All I knew, I had a fun college time. I'm not gonna say I was to the T. I was going to sleep early in the night, and I wasn't going out and having fun with friends. But it never affected what I was really there to do. not in any way that would matter. It's just like, hey, like, let's go.
Sure. No, I got you on that. Now, I have to ask because when you do get drafted and stuff like that, the whole host family thing and stuff like that, as a minor leaguer, for people who don't know what that experience is like. I mean, I don't fully understand that either, but obviously you get drafted, you're in the minor leagues. What's the living thing like for that? Because I know from Kate County, host families and stuff like that. Like I've known some of the families, but really, what's that like? You know, living with another family and moving up through the ranks and joining different families along the way.
Yep.
What's that experience like, and how's that kind of all set up?
It's interesting,
Yeah.
because you have your own family,
Right.
and you have your own life, and then some other family with a whole nother life and a whole
Yeah.
nother situation is literally saying, yep, hey, we're willing to open our home and help out a kid, or we're willing to help a kid, or we're willing to help a grown man.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I got drafted, when I got to Kane County, I was 22, about to turn 23.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to turn 23. I mean, I lived with a family who had at the time 2 9-year-olds.
Mm.
And, it's just like,
I got 2 little brothers.
like I'm old enough to where I got a goatee and they're thinking about calling me sir. But at the same time, like I'm sitting there, I'm like, hey, no, I'm young enough to play with y'all, and,
Yeah.
and it was cool because like they were very open to me hanging out, but didn't expect me to sit and have dinner with them or sit and watch the football game with them or whatever it may be. But like they were very open to like, hey, like your room's your room.
Yeah.
That's your space. And pretty much all we asked, like, hey, like we might hit you up and we want to come see you start, but like we're gonna leave you alone on start day. But hey, like can you leave us a ticket here and there, maybe? And I was like,
Yeah.
that's so easy. Yeah, thanks.
You're housing me.
You're literally doing me such a, not me, like us. They're helping guys out so much.
Right.
I don't think, because
There
there are a lot of guys that are in situations where if it needed to, they could get their own apartment and handle
sure.
it. But there are some guys that just, it's a different situation, and you don't know whose situation is what. And host families are really, they're a blessing, man. Yeah, it was a good experience.
Yeah, no, I can't even imagine that. The first thing, it reminds me of like The Blind Side, like literally just taking someone in and just having to conform and, get to know that dynamic of a family, because coming from something so special that you have at home with your family, that had to take a little bit of time to get used to being like, okay, this isn't like this is a little different, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, and the best part is like it's not conflicting.
Right.
They're not trying to be your family. They're just trying to help you out.
Yep, and get you to that next point in your life.
Yeah, they're trying to help out and get to know somebody, make a friend.
Sure.
Maybe it's a family that got some young ball players in the house, and they just want to say, hey, like you're just a combination of who you hang around.
Absolutely.
And so if you put some ball players in the house, those kids just got to kind of get to see what a ball player looks like, or how a ball player goes about his business, and does he keep his room clean, and just different things.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, they're doing us a favor, but sometimes like it's definitely a mutualistic relationship.
Sure, for sure. Now I have to ask, since after, like I said, last time I talked to you was before the Midwest All-Star game in 2017. After that, you got an amazing opportunity down in Miami at the Futures game. What was that experience like for you? I mean, was that your first like big time, exposure, national television? I mean, what was that moment like for you to be a part of the Futures team for Team USA down there for the All-Star game?
Sweet. I mean, it's you're treated like a big leaguer for,
I know, it's insane.
2 days, and not even just big leaguer. Like you're living the life, like it's like, it feels like it's the coolest thing. The lights were brighter, you know, like playing catch before the game was just, the ball whistled different, you know. There was cameras everywhere. So like it gave you not even a taste. It was just like a little mini hors d'oeuvre of what could be.
Sure.
You know, it was like a little side dish of like, hey, this is what it's kind of like, you know. And so I remember leaving there because I mean, I pitched in the game, and then the next morning, the first flight out, I was on a flight back to Visalia.
Yeah.
I landed in Visalia, and I landed in Visalia, and the day before my birthday, I remember sitting there going, I gotta get more of that. I need more of that. It was more than motivation. It created a freaking.
It created a different person inside of you. Like you got some.
It just like
storm brewing of energy, and
it was like the allegory of the cave. You know, like. Not quite as intense, but I mean, you're sitting there and you're watching the shadows, and you kind of, so we see on TV and you hear stories, and it's like, okay, cool, but like you got to turn around for a split second and actually see, and you're like,
yeah,
oh snap, oh no, okay, let me break off these chains real quick, you know. I mean, yeah, no, it was cool. You meet a lot of good dudes and a lot of dudes that are freaking studs.
Oh yeah,
you know. And then you start to realize that, yeah, this isn't all that the game has to offer. There's some pretty sensational cats out there, and so
sure,
I want to compete. You gotta put it in gear. There's got to be another gear. There has to be another gear. You got to go find it. So you find it any way you can.
Gotcha. No, and I think the results were pretty much clear as day after that, because the rest of the year, I mean, it was 2017 MILB Pipeline Player of the Year. They had, I mean, you turned into something insane as far as numbers go the rest of that season. And I think a lot of it, like you said, I think you could, pinpoint those two moments, that All-Star game and then the Futures down in Miami, as kind of, the reasons for that. But I have to ask you too, so with this pandemic and everything going on, the MLB did this thing early on in the pandemic where they had these players playing MLB The Show, and you were a part of that for the Diamondbacks.
Right.
What was that experience like? If you can explain that to some people who might not know what that was. I mean, these were on ESPN. It was kind of strange, like of watching ESPN and seeing these players like bottom right or left corner, and they're playing. I'm like, what is this? Like, is this happening? Watching video games on ESPN. What was that experience like for you to represent the Diamondbacks in that?
It was cool. You know, I do enjoy playing video games. I am by no means I'm not a gamer, but
me either.
I am a competitor. You know, I love that, and they allowed us and set it up to where we could play the game that we love, with, like, in a competitive setting,
sure,
while having fun, and get to incorporate the fans. You know, like, it was super dope. I mean, super dope. It was cool because, like, you had to use your team. So I got to play with our guys, and I was hitting mucho homers with Carson Kelly, you know, and Seawalk was getting his doubles, and Archie's my boy, but man, I just couldn't. I for some reason I couldn't use him, you know. So like, it kind of created these little mini stories.
Yeah.
That when we did get back to being together, I could kind of talk to guys about that and be like, hey man, like, my bad, bro. Like, Arch, you're better than what I was doing with you in the game.
Right.
And Carson, that game was just a taste of what you're finna do this year. So let's get it jumping, man. Let's keep that energy rolling.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was a great thing to see. I had a blast watching that stuff. And to kind of bring into the whole pandemic thing again, was there any initiatives that was there anything that you did with some of the guys on the team to kind of help rally around and, help out the community, down in Arizona, or just even back at your hometown community to kind of get through this? I saw a lot of athletes, really going, hey, I got this time. what can I do to give back to
Yeah.
the people who've supported me from the start? Was there anything that you did to kind of jumpstart community programs that to help and give back to the people who were there from you for day one?
So personally, I have not.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of tough in Arizona with it. Well, when I was out in Arizona, I was only out during the season pretty
Right.
much when we restarted, and once we were out there, there were clear cut rules like, hey, like you're getting
Yeah.
tested the other day. Let's not really be out in public
Mm-hmm.
and do all that stuff. Um, so it's kind of strange there. I would have liked to, especially being in rehab and my days were fairly short. I would have loved to go out and help somehow, some way,
Mm-hmm.
even if just talk to some kids here and there. But the Players Alliance has been doing an unbelievable job, and they have their
Sure.
tour going on right now. So I plan on, I'm not going to be in the one in Phoenix, but I plan on being the ones out here in California. There's some in LA, and I think there's one down in San Diego. And if I'm out here for that, I'm probably going to drive down and help out there.
That's awesome,
Um,
man.
oh yeah, I mean they're doing a great job and passing out gear and helping people out and it's really sparking a love for the game
Mm-hmm.
in some dark times. So looking
That's
forward to that.
awesome. That's good stuff. Now, I don't know if you can see, but behind me, right here to the left and right, those things hanging on the wall, those
Yeah.
things have not left since 2017. Those are bats from all you guys. Isn't that crazy?
Really, I was about to say I
Yeah.
recognize some of those tapes. Tell me who
So
the
I
yellow
got
tape. Who's the yellow tape?
well the yellow tape. That's Marcus. That's the
I
Batman one.
knew it was Marcus. I was
Yeah,
like, I
he's got the
recognize it.
Batman on everything. The other one's David Peralta, the one next to
Okay.
the yellow. That was Silverio's. He gave that
Yep.
to me. But all those bats, they're all from those have not come down since. So it's like that just explains like that you guys special part of me. So I can't thank you enough for giving me just giving me the opportunity to talk to you guys back then, because I could guarantee I probably came off as weird as hell, because I don't know, like I don't know, like you guys were just a great group of people. But yeah, I
Yeah.
kept looking at that throughout the whole conversation. I'm like, I gotta let him know. And then the other
I
was
appreciate
Anthony Greer, Jazz, and
that.
then the one in the middle right there is signed by all of you guys. So,
Okay.
um, yeah, I had to tell you that. Now we're getting close to start of next season. Hopefully, how's MLB working this out with the whole pandemic for next year? Do you have
Man,
any timetable right now as far as reporting for camp or?
all I've heard is, hey, be ready to go.
That's it.
I mean, that's it. And it's
Yeah,
like, so and that's all I know. So like, and
sure.
that's all I can really prepare for. Like the
Mm-hmm.
last thing I want is to anticipate some kind of halt, some kind of
Right.
pushback, and not be ready if they say, "Hey, no, actually, we're gonna go on time," and I'm not ready. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna be ready to go, as I'm sure everybody else will be.
Right.
Shoot, I hope we start on time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
No kidding, man.
for some baseball. So
Gotcha.
um, yeah, yeah. I don't know too much that's going on outside of that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that answers the question that I was wondering, because as an outsider, I don't know. I thought that maybe you would know, but it looks like we're kind of on the same page here. So, but what have you been doing to stay busy though, as you do kind of get ready for the anticipation of the season? Obviously, working out each day, getting back to full health. What's a day in the life of Jon Duplantier right now?
So I'm like I work out in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Go work out, and so today was lower body.
Oh, okay.
And usually I'll wake up. Uh, I'll wake up pretty early. I'll cook breakfast, clean that up, hit the road, get to the gym, work out. On Mondays, leave. I'll come back over here, have lunch around 11.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Usually, the workouts they're tough enough to where I'll go ahead and take a nap. I
Yeah.
might take an hour or two nap and then get up and pretty much get myself situated. I might watch a Netflix show or read a book or play some video games before it's time to go throw. So I'm going to play and catch right now. I've been stretching it out a little bit. But yeah, it's pretty much it. I mean, pretty much from about 6:15 in the morning till about 4 o'clock. That's the work day.
Wow.
That's the work
It's a
day.
long day, man.
I mean, yeah, but there's some breaks involved. You know, it's like a meeting here, a meeting there, and a meeting there.
Yeah,
You
so
know,
it's
like
broken up enough to where it doesn't feel like, it's tiring.
I'm not mentally taxed. You know what I mean? Like, you know how like when you're just going and going and going,
It's
there's no
draining.
break.
You got to have breaks. Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's no drain. I wake up, I eat breakfast, but it's intentional. So I wake up, eat breakfast, I go work out. My body is taxed. So I
Right.
come home, I eat lunch, I shower, I take a nap. I give my body some time to recover. I wake up from a nap. I do something leisurely and then kind of wind that down, get up, go lock it in for another catch play session. You know, like that's typically the day. And then I'll eat dinner. So I eat lunch. I might get like a middle meal, you know, like an extra meal. But then I usually eat dinner around 7, in bed, hopefully sleep by 9:30.
Wow. Damn, so
Do
you
it
got
all
that
over.
all planned out.
I'm telling you.
I don't even I don't even know what I'm gonna do 5 minutes after this. Like I have everything is minute by minute, second by second. It's but I mean, hey, that's just me. I mean, you got a little bit different thing going on in your life right now, but thing is, there's a new segment on the show that I'm gonna start doing is 5 things people don't know about you. So that's how I like to wrap up each show, starting with you actually. So, what are 5 things that nobody knows about you, Jon Duplantier?
That nobody knows about me.
Yeah. Or not too many people would expect.
Not
Like,
too many people. Yeah. So, I mean, the easiest one for me to come up with is I've lived overseas twice.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I lived overseas twice. My dad was with oil companies, so we were expats. We'd be over for about a year and a half, and then head back. What's
Doesn't have to be 5. I don't want to force anything.
Oh yeah, no, you good. You good. I'm allergic to a lot of things. Like I have a bunch of food allergies. So people are like, man, like you must eat a ton. It's a ton of the same thing. Like I can't eat peanut butter and
gosh, that sucks.
eggs, you know,
Eggs?
and milk. Yeah. All the things that you would
milk, like athletes, all the things athletes benefit from.
Yeah, pretty much. Like and nuts. Like people just snack on nuts, you know, like for snacks and stuff.
Yeah.
No, I can't do it.
How'd that work in the clubhouse or the dugout? I mean, you got to be breaking out.
I can't eat seeds either, so I don't eat seeds either.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I'm telling you, it's a long list, my man. Let's see.
Wow.
So what was that? That's 2?
That's 2.
I would have said my third one would have been like I almost didn't play baseball and went and played football for Yale. So I'll go 3 on that. 4, I have 2 younger cousins that are ball players themselves, and they're gonna be better. They're gonna be better than me. I'm gonna make it hard for them, but I think they'll be better than me. They're one's at University of Texas now, and the other one's committed there. So
awesome.
4 and 5. What is 5? 5 is dadgum. What makes me kind of interesting? Oh, the glasses are prescription.
Oh, they are. You get a lot of questions about that.
Yeah, a lot of people think that they're just for show and like intimidation. I'm like, no.
What? Who does that?
Intimidating would be me taking them off because then I can't see. Yeah, no, I wear them. They're prescription. I'm wearing contacts right now, and I've had some form of eye correction at all times when I'm awake since the 2nd grade. Yeah. So
interesting.
It's not intimidation. I need them. I'm glad people think I look scary with them on.
I never thought that. I never thought that at all. But
yeah,
it's interesting. Well, hey man, I appreciate you doing this, Jon. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's good catching up, man. Always.
Likewise.